Hey, what's going on, Savages? You already know who it is. It's your favorite internet sweaty, your boy, Mikey Savage 21. And today, I'm going to be bringing you another Dragon Ball discussion. But I am not alone in this Dragon Ball discussion, for anytime I do something anime related, then you're probably going to see this man right here. The man with the plan, Andy 13. Andy 13, what's happening, partner?
What's going on, internet? What's going on, Mike? It's your favorite white boy in the world. Here to just discuss some Dragon Ball. What would happen if Piccolo encountered the androids first?
Well, I wouldn't say you're my favorite white boy, but
oh, hurting my heart.
I'm sorry.
I'm probably the internet's
I'm sorry.
White boy, though.
Well, then that means that that means they would love you more than Eminem and MGK and some of these other white guys. So.
Okay, they don't count as white guys. I'm talking like I'm a white guy. I'm like the typical white guy. I'm what you expect out of a nerdy white dude.
Well, what about Watsky then? Wouldn't he count as a totally nerdy type of dude? And then there's also Weird Al Yankovic.
Weird Al Yankovic, Tom Holland, Robert Downey Jr. Okay, never mind. Off the topic. It's your favorite gringo. Let's go.
But yeah, guys, as Andy 13 said, we're basically going to be talking on the topic of what if Piccolo encountered the androids first, and to kind of set up what set of androids I'm talking about, or artificial humans, whichever one you grew up with, either from the Japanese or the English dub. We're probably going in and out of the Japanese dub, but we're specifically talking about the artificial humans 19 and 20, aka Dr. Jayroe. We're basically going to talk about what if Goku didn't fight first and Piccolo instead was like, no, Goku, you sit this one out, I got this one covered. And we're going to talk about how the battle would have gone, and also how this would have affected Goku's heart virus at the time. Alright, so first thing that I want to bring up is the fact that we know that 19 is weaker than Dr. Jayroe, and at that point Dr. Jayroe was even stronger than 19 because he got to absorb some energy from Vegeta, plus he had the energy he absorbed from Yamcha as well, as significantly small that would have been. Sorry, Yamcha fans out there.
Yamcha doesn't have fans.
Actually, yeah, he really does. He does have a strong fan base.
Whoa.
They're out, believe me, they're out there, man. They are out there.
What kind of drugs are you guys taking? Where can I find some?
Hey, Yamcha's a real cool character, and I'm not being funny, I'm not joking, I'm being serious. I actually do like Yamcha. He's not like my favorite character, he's not like in my top 10, but he's definitely in my top 20 though, because y'all gotta give Yamcha some props now, man. I mean, he's a ladies man just like Krillin is.
Okay, Yamcha lost Bulma like years ago, and he's still salty about it.
He is? He doesn't seem like he really cares anymore. I think the only reason he would even still be even a little salty about it is because of Vegeta. But we've gotten way off topic. This is gonna turn into a Yamcha topic. We'll do one of those maybe one day. But no. So
it sounds like a topic.
So okay, okay. So yeah, Dr. Jayroe. He took energy from Yamcha back at the beginning, and then he took energy from Vegeta when he used an attack on him, when he goaded him into attacking. And yet Piccolo was still able to compete with him and even outclass him to the point where he was mollywhopping Dr. Jayroe. So obviously Android 19 hadn't had a chance to steal any energy from Goku, because in this scenario Piccolo fought first. Now I honestly think that the same result would have happened. Piccolo would have fought 19, would have completely destroyed 19. Dr. Jayroe probably would have gotten frightened and tried to fly off to his lab to activate 17 and 18, but then at the last minute Vegeta would come in and, you know, kick him in the face just like he did with 19. Then obviously Vegeta would insist on showing off his new Super Saiyan transformation. He would demand a shot at Dr. Jayroe. Then he would have taken on Dr. Jayroe. I'm pretty sure they would have told Vegeta about how they absorb energy through their hands. But then on top of that, Vegeta said he was up there in the sky observing, so he saw about the whole absorbing energy thing. So they didn't even have to remind him. I think he would have proceeded to mollywhop Dr. Jayroe and would have obviously probably killed him. Now in this scenario, we're talking about if Bulma decided, you know, not to come as well. So let's say that Bulma didn't come and interfere. the Android saga would end right then and there. The artificial humans would be dealt with because Vegeta obviously would be way stronger than Piccolo at this point and would destroy Dr. Jayroe before he would even have a chance to get to his lab. With that being said, what do you think about this, Andy 13, about this whole scenario?
Okay, I don't even think Vegeta would need to get involved. I can just see Piccolo walking both 19 and 20. Because, I mean, you think about it. In the actual series, and I like to quote Dragon Ball Z Abridged on this one, because it just fits perfectly what they said. He didn't observe any of the actions on Namek. And in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, I can't remember the episode number. Shout out to Team 4-Star.
I think it was in the 30s somewhere, because I was actually, this is how this topic got sparked in my head. I was watching Dragon Ball Abridged yesterday. I was having a marathon of it.
So you know which one I'm talking about, where in Jayroe's just like, what the fuck's a Namek?
And it's like, Piccolo's a Namek. I thought you had all the details.
Yep, so I could just see Piccolo, since they had no knowledge of Namek whatsoever. They probably didn't know what the heck a Namekian was. All they had was data on Piccolo's dad, which Piccolo's already a heck of a lot stronger than his dad at this point.
Well, no, I think they had Piccolo's fighting style as well and inserted into them. So, because they revealed that they knew all of their battle strategies, including Vegeta and everything. So this basically took place during the Saiyan saga, or Saiyan saga. And so, yeah, they would obviously have Piccolo cells because he was there fighting as well.
But you also think about one more thing. Because yes,
not cells, but I mean fighting style. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, Cell did have Piccolo's cells though. But you think about it, they had no idea what happened on Namek, and what's the one thing Piccolo did on Namek to try to bring Frieza down? He
synced with Nail.
Yeah, so he had that extra power boost on top of the fact, like you said earlier, he trained for 3 years with Goku and Gohan. So he probably would have just came in and just would have seen the energy absorption thing after one attack and been like, okay, you know what? Screw that. I'm just going to rip their heads off.
Yeah, can't absorb without. Well, I don't even think that would completely work because we saw that they can still talk with their heads off.
Yeah, but you know what? The head will be separated from the body, rip apart the rest of the body.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Unless Jayroe actually had a self-destruct sequence implanted in his body along with 19's body in the case of something like this might happen. But no, man, so we're in agreement though that Piccolo would basically mollywop the androids even if he did take on both of them by himself and Vegeta didn't get involved. But knowing how Vegeta's attitude is and knowing how he wants to show off and everything to Goku and just kind of flex and become the hype, as Team 4-Star would say, I honestly think that Vegeta would get involved. But Piccolo is not.
I am the hype.
Basically, yeah. I don't think Piccolo would have been opposed to that, especially if he sensed Vegeta's power level at that point and be like, yeah, I don't stand a chance against Vegeta, so I'll let him have his way, whatever. All right, so I also want to take this topic into what would have happened to Goku then, because we know that Goku, did exert himself by flying over and everything, and he was out of breath and tired, but when he went Super Saiyan, that's when the heart virus started to take effect even faster. So in this scenario, I'm going to assume that Goku's heart virus would still most definitely happen, but it wouldn't happen there on the battlefield. And if it did, it wouldn't cause that much difficulty or that much problem at that point because Piccolo and Vegeta got this whole thing handled. And Dr. Jayroe is not going to necessarily try to stop Goku from leaving because obviously he's got other fighters there that could just stand in his way. So I would honestly think that if the heart virus didn't manifest itself right then and there before they took care of the androids, it would definitely happen after they took care of the androids. And then, of course, at that point, there is no threat except for Cell lurking around. And unless Cell knows where the lab is, he's no threat to anybody. So, yeah, I think, if Piccolo would have fought first, this ultimately would have not only gotten rid of the androids, but then also would have saved Goku from being taken out of the fight. And he could have added to some of the conversations going on. Because, look, even if Bulma did show up when Vegeta was fighting Dr. Jayroe, and he used it the same way he did when he was originally fighting Piccolo, and used it as a distraction, Goku, on top of that, along with everybody else, that's more people that Dr. Jayroe is going to have to try to escape from. Plus, Bulma would still be able to tell them about the lab as well. Plus, we also know that Trunks is currently on his way. So either way, I still think Dr. Jayroe would have been screwed either way.
Yeah.
I don't see a scenario where the androids in this timeline or in this scenario would get woken up. Unless they really just are lazy and just cannot find Dr. Jayroe and he's hidden that well.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen. Jayroe kind of stands out like a sore thumb. I mean, for God's sakes, part of his costume is freaking yellow.
And I have a feeling that he would still try to steal some energy before he gets back to the lab. Because let's say assume at this point that Vegeta is raking his shop and he even chops off his hand or one part of his body, just like Piccolo originally did in the original timeline. Let's say that, you know, he's still damaged. He's still going to try to take some energy because he's going to need that energy to regulate himself to keep going by foot so he can, you know, so he can ultimately make it to the lab.
Yeah.
So he could still, you know, jump out and still try to steal some energy, but it wouldn't matter because, again, Goku could take him out, you know, minus if the heart virus, you know, had calmed down at that point. Vegeta could take him out, obviously, and Vegeta would want to finish the fight he started. And then also on top of that, Piccolo is right there. And you might even make an argument for Gohan at this point. He might be able to take out 20, especially if he's battle damaged like he is and can't absorb energy. Gohan would just be able to take him out with the quickness as well. Not maybe as quickly, but I would say he would still be able to do some significant damage because at that point, I still consider Gohan the 4th strongest person. And again, this is before Trunks arrives, and then obviously he would be bumped down to maybe 5th or 6th strongest. I still think at this point he would still be a little bit below Piccolo. But no, guys, yeah, so Angie, what do you think about this, man? Do you think that, how do you think this would have all played out, including the whole Bulma scenario where she did show up with Yajirobe and Lil Trunks?
Well, I hate that character trait about Bulma, so if she's just staying away, I would have been A-okay with the scenario. Factored like this, yes, Piccolo would have absolutely destroyed 19 instantly, and Vegeta probably wouldn't even have given Jayroe a chance to run. He would have found a way to hold him hostage.
Yeah, because you got to think that he wouldn't necessarily, at that point, he doesn't care about Bulma or Little Trunks for that matter. So he would be obviously looking up, not looking up at Bulma's ship. He would be paying attention to Dr. Jayroe. The only reason he was caught off guard before is because he wasn't the one fighting. He was just spectating.
So yeah, pretty much they'd get destroyed. He wouldn't have a chance to get back to his lab. 16, 17, and 18 would probably just be stuck in their chambers forever.
Now, I am going to do actually a part 2 to this video, guys, so we can make sure we include Imperfect Cell and how this would ultimately affect the series. And I'm surprised Mazako X has not covered this topic yet, because this is a topic that I've actually thought about for a while now. Same thing with the whole Vegeta debacle of how did Vegeta know about Super Saiyan 3 even though he was dead and wasn't supposed to have a body. Depending on which lore you use, if you use Toriyama's Hell, then he definitely wouldn't know about it. But if you use the anime Hell or Toei's Hell, then you could make an argument, okay, he could probably saw it on the big giant globe that's down there. But all right, guys, that's going to end the discussion for now, guys. What do you think in the comment section below? Do you think that Dr. Jayroe would have gotten away and still activated Android 16, 17, and 18? Do you think that he would have just been ultimately destroyed by both Piccolo or ultimately by Vegeta? Let me know what you think about this down in the comment section below. As always, thank you so much for checking out the video. If you haven't already, please make sure you go to Instagram and follow my man Andy13 at neospace_Cloudian. He posted some awesome content on there and some awesome pics, and I believe he's currently working on a YouTube channel right now, so when he has that link available, I'll also link that in the description as well. Thank you as always, and I hope you all have a blessed day. Peace out, y'all.
Peace out, world.
Oh, and I almost forgot. Remember to become a savage, stay a savage, and now peace out, y'all.